So we call this play The Walking Dead. And the reason this play works so well for us is, and I'm saying this as a salesperson myself, salespeople are lazy and want the low-hanging fruit. I'm Chris Cicconi. I am a sales consultant and fractional sales leader. I've spent the better part of the last 15 years in sales, either in services or in SaaS. Been an individual contributor, hit President's Club half a dozen or so times, moved into leadership, both full cycle and sales development. This play is lovingly called The Walking Dead, and we are focusing on our closed, lost opportunities. The beauty of this play is that you already engaged with the company or the prospect, and you're a lot more likely to get a response from them. We're going to go after the survivor. Now, that is the prospect that you've previously spoken to. They're still around. They're still at the organization, and you're hoping to continue the conversation. And on the other side of things, we have our zombies. They are roaming around. They aren't necessarily aware of you, but we're assuming that if the organization was interested enough to talk to you once about a problem, there is likely that problem seen by other people within the organization. So we want to try and group them all together and engage with more than one person. The messaging is going to be a little bit different. People we've spoken to and they know who we are versus people we haven't engaged with, but their organization maybe has that challenge that we are looking to solve. What we've done is our magical RevOps team has worked a trigger into the background. So after a deal is marked closed lost, you're going to get a prompt in the system in your either CRM or SEP, and it's going to tell you, hey, this closed lost happened 3 months ago. Let's go revisit it. And it's going to prompt you to take your main prospect and enroll them into that survivor sequence. That sequence is typically going to be 4 emails long, have 2 LinkedIn touches and 3 phone calls, and it will last approximately 2.5 weeks for all of that. Look at that closed lost deal and understand, okay, what were we trying to do? What was the conversation about? The main key piece there is to assure that they still work at the organization. We don't want to be going and hitting them up after they've already left. So step 1, go check LinkedIn, make sure they are still there and they're still in the same role, because that also may change the conversation. You're going to take that information, fill out the templated first email that's going to cover the information that was spoken about the first time around, and you're going to go ahead and launch that sequence. That's going to be on your survivor side of the people you've engaged with. That will also, if nothing comes of this, happen again 6 months later. So we're going to be getting back in there and not letting any of these folks slip through the cracks. On the other side of things, you've got that zombie play, which again is very, very similar, just the messaging is going to change a little bit. So instead of saying, hey, we spoke to you about XYZ, hey, we've engaged with your company, we can name drop in that because again, that first email is very much catered, so you can drop who you spoke to. The goal there is to really get engaged with these folks, touch on different people in the organization to see if more than one person is feeling these problems and is willing to have a conversation with you about them. A big part of the success we see with this Walking Dead campaign is that it's already warmer than what you would typically get. It's not that cold call or that cold email where there's a strong chance that people will not respond. We'll typically see a response rate somewhere in like the 40% range. You're also going to get a lot of, hey, we actually decided to go with a competitor. And that's okay too, because that provides you a lot of really valuable information. You can ask, why did they choose the competitor? You can get some of that competitive analysis of, it was pricing, it was features. They might tell you about the industry, that it's stagnant or in flux because something is going on. So it gives you a lot of data. And I think that's a really important focus. We get so tied up in, I need to book the meeting, I need to generate revenue right now. But I think by taking a step back, when somebody tells you no and using that as an opportunity to dive into a deeper conversation, I think there is a ton of value there. This has allowed us to generate a ton of conversations, not only booking us meetings and generating opportunities, but also gaining us a ton of really key industry knowledge right now.